This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, a new central city bus hub prompts discussion among a group of public transport users ahead of the consultation period. Preschoolers are being shown why they should avoid tobacco in a unique way, but will it create a smoke-free generation? And three of our own get a shot at the big time after being invited to show their collections during New Zealand Fashion Week. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A group of local public transport users are getting in early with their thoughts on a proposed new central city bus hub. The Otago Regional Council is yet to begin consulting on the project, but the advocacy group is growing its numbers in preparation, and members say they'll be ready and waiting to give their feedback when the time comes.
Getting an idea of what's to come. Members of the city's bus users support group have been discussing a proposed new central bus hub to be built on Great King Street. While the idea isn't yet set in stone, group convener Peter Dowden is keen to start the public conversation early.
Today we just wanted to show people where the bus hub is going to go and then gather a list of what features people want the bus hub to have. We hope to be able to assist the Regional Council influence their design process and be in at a very early stage.
The Otago Regional Council is yet to begin consulting on the proposed hub, but Dowden says getting this group together is about being prepared for when it happens. Already he's been in talks with council staff, but says he's well aware everything is very much in the planning stage.
In lots of informal discussions with the council, they've told us what their general ideas for the bus hub are, but they've been very careful to point out that none of what they've told us so far is sort of official or finalised, and we accept that, and we don't want to press them on that matter.
Dowden says he's keen to see the council take a light-handed approach to the central city hub, creating a functional yet inexpensive space for users and ratepayers. He says transport hubs can become unpleasant and poorly maintained places, but he has high hopes for what could be created locally.
We want ours to be quite the opposite of that. We want it to be a very light, airy, very open place that people feel very safe and comfortable in. It helps being located right outside the police station, so we think that'll be quite positive for people's feelings of security.
The council's latest draft transport plan states the new hub will be integral in ensuring the success of a proposed new bus network. With all things going to plan, construction is projected to begin as early as 2018. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
More than $250,000 is going into the coffers of local community groups and organisations. The money is being distributed by the Dunedin City Council based on decisions by councillors and community representatives. In total, just over $255,000 is being allocated to 92 different entities. The money is covering programs and initiatives involving local culture, education, sport, art, recreation and heritage. Work being funded is aligned to the Council's strategic framework. Most groups are getting a few $1,000s each. Mosgiel preschoolers are being taught the importance of avoiding tobacco in a novel way. Staff at health agencies are engaging children in education programs for World Smoke-Free Day, and they're hoping their efforts help in creating a smoke-free generation.
Learning in an entertaining way. These young Mosgiel children are being taught what's good for their bodies through song and dance. It's part of a push by Southern health organisations to get the smoke-free message across.
Today is World Smoke-Free Day, and Arthur Burns, who are one of the centres who's participated in our Little Lungs program, is just doing a wee celebration.
The preschool had a storyteller on board to help children understand about being healthy. Arthur Burns is part of the Little Lungs program, which has been promoting the smoke-free cause to families since 2013. Teachers are drip-feeding information to kids and parents so they don't scorn families with smokers.
Occasionally we may have a story that just slightly alludes to the fact that, it's healthy not to smoke, but we don't want to stigmatise parents that do smoke. It's a very, very hard thing to give up. I am an ex-smoker myself, so I have compassion for people who are trying hard to give up.
The Little Lungs program is operating in 70 schools throughout Otago and Southland. The SDHB and Well South initiative aims to provide the teaching community with advice about delivering smoke-free messages to families. Health professionals say it's important to engage children at a young age so they can carry that understanding through life.
It kills about 5,000 people a year, so as a health organisation we're really concerned about the health consequences like cancer and heart disease and stroke, so we're really just trying to get at that smoke-free generation and protecting children's lungs.
World Smoke Free Day is celebrated globally on the 31st of May. The Little Lung program supports the government's goal to create a smoke-free New Zealand by 2025. Annabelle Dick, 39, Dunedin News.
Police are investigating a handful of thefts from vehicles over the past few days. The most recent incident occurred at the weekend when a rental car was broken into while parked near Bethune's Gully in North East Valley. More than $1,000 worth of electronic goods was stolen, including an iPad, GPS system and a pair of headphones. A vehicle parked in a Crawford Street car park was also broken into over the weekend, and a red toolbox containing several tools was taken from the boot. Police say it appears those responsible attempted to hotwire the car but were unsuccessful. 3 Otago Polytechnic design graduates are getting their shot at the big time. Their final year fashion collections have earned them a place on the runway at this year's New Zealand Fashion Week, and it could be just the ticket for helping the young designers break into the notoriously difficult industry.
Going back to the drawing board, Otago Polytechnic student Ariane Bray is expanding on her most recent fashion collection to show at this year's New Zealand Fashion Week. She's undertaking a new postgraduate fashion course at the Polytechnic, giving her the resources necessary for the task.
So I've been able to build my project that I'm working on at the moment around the challenge of showing at Fashion Week, because obviously I have to do a bit of work on it because they have requested 8 outfits, and we show generally 5 for our graduating collection.
A collection by fellow graduate Kenya Quinn has also been selected for the upcoming show, incorporating a selection of soft hues. Classmate Julia Palm's work will also hit the catwalk, showing her inspiration from New Zealand's punk culture, with human hair woven through garments. For Bray, the show's a chance to reconsider her collection and expand upon the original idea.
I think because a little bit of time has passed, I've sort of evolved myself as a designer, so I want to work on what I've done, retaining the same integral themes and colour palette and inspirations, but elevating it slightly to where I am now.
Bray's collection was inspired by a flower that is both repulsive and attractive at the same time. Her idea was to illustrate how things can often be beautiful but may have been made in an unsustainable way. She says she's looking forward to getting her work to the next level ahead of the big show.
It's a really good opportunity to reflect on the work that I've done, which is quite unique because I think fashion's always moving so fast. So going back and sort of reflecting on my own practice is quite an interesting thing to be doing.
New Zealand Fashion Week kicks off in the last week of August in Auckland. That gives Bray and her fellow Polytechnic designers a couple of months to ensure their work is all set for the next runway outing. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we'll find out why some academics are focusing on acidified seawater and parasites, and Baldwin Street is in line for a new edition. Details soon.
Junk-free June is about making a change that makes you healthier and happier. Kick the junk or that bad habit during June and you'll be helping yourself and supporting the Cancer Society. Get others to support you and get rewarded with discounts on some great products and services too. Go to junkfreejune.org.nz today and get started. You'll be doing good for you and for local people affected by cancer.
Come one, come all to the Lana Castle Winter Ball. Traditional dancing, dining and fun to be had. Dress up in your Victorian costume and experience the glamour of yesteryear and witness the address of the haggis. Friday 22nd of July, get in fast as tickets are limited. Call 4761616 or go online to www.lanarkcastle.co.nz.
We're a 25 Moreau place, Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
It's Junk-Free June.
I'm giving up chocolate.
Go to junkfreejune.org.nz today and get started.
It's on again. The Star Regent 24-hour book sale starts noon 10th June. Don't miss out!
Oamaru's Fire and Steam is a unique family event coinciding with the Steampunk New Zealand Festival. Fire and Steam is being held Friday the 3rd of June from 6:30pm till 9pm. The festival is to celebrate fire, steam, sound, light and music. Harbour Street will come alive. An annual event not to be missed.
And 28 tracks, dynamic automation, dual faders, and totally digital. This is state-of-the-art music production. The SSL Digital Console. You'll find one in the BBC studios in London, another at CBS studios in New York, and now one at the University of Otago. It's a good reason why our sound now sounds even better. My name is Maddie Parkins Craig, and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
Hi, this time of year we like to keep our customers warm and comfortable, and we sell a lot of moleskins and we've got them all on special. Check out these, Tussock Creek, 2 weights and they're a great price. We also sell Lee stretch moleskins, 5 different colours, short and regular. Great buying, moleskins, Alex Campbell Menswear, 3 stores.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's Junk-Free June.
I'm giving up the couch.
Go to junkfreejune.org.nz today and get started.
Welcome back. The city is seeing a lull in building activity with fewer consents being issued for new dwellings. Just 19 planned homes were signed off in Dunedin last month, down from 33 in March and 50 in February. That's a 33% drop compared to this time last year. Nationally, more houses are being consented, although the construction boom is easing slightly. The most development remains in Auckland, Canterbury and Waikato. Overall, the number of new dwellings being consented annually is at an 11-year high. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 20 points. It's now at 7,039. The Nikkei is up 116 points. And to the exchange rates, the Kiwi dollar is down against the Australian, but we are up against the other currencies we follow. A scientific experiment conducted by local researchers is revealing surprises about marine creatures and how they might live in the future. Academics have found that sea snails survive better in acidified seawater when they're infected by parasites. Dr. Colin McLeod of the University of Otago's Zoology Department joins us to explain. Good evening.
Good evening.
Tell us about the experiment and what you did.
So essentially I'm interested in how ocean acidification is going to affect host-parasite associations, which is a bit of a mouthful. But really what I did was expose infected and uninfected snails to acidified seawater to see what happened to their survival rates and a number of other parameters.
What were your main findings?
So interestingly, I found that healthy or uninfected snails actually had a higher mortality rate in acidified seawater than infected snails.
Why acidified seawater?
Well, ocean acidification is a global process that's going on at the moment, and essentially the same carbon dioxide that causes global warming is dissolving into the seawater and going through a number of chemical reactions and causing seawater to become slightly more acidic.
Okay. Now, how did these flatworms help the sea snails?
Help's a little bit of a relative term there. The parasites, once they infect the snail, actually sterilise the snail, so they destroy the reproductive organs of the snail and replace them with their own reproductive apparatus. But the theory goes that the energy required by reproductive activity is actually greater than the energy that the parasites take away. So infected snails essentially have more energy to cope with stressors such as acidified seawater and therefore exhibit less mortality.
And so what happens when they do try to reproduce?
Very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they will effectively become extinct?
Well, they're not really a reproductively active part of the population anymore, but about 20% of the snail population in Otago Harbour is uninfected, and they seem to be reproductively active enough to keep the population going.
Are you surprised by the results?
Yes and no. Yes, I'm surprised because ocean acidification typically has negative effects. Parasitic infection also typically has negative effects in most cases. And it's surprising that anything positive comes out of those that combination of factors. But some people have found that actually growth rates of infected snails increase compared to uninfected individuals, so that suggests, or I thought that maybe there would be an excess of energy that could go towards regulating against an acidified environment.
What does it mean in terms of marine life dealing with future changes in the ocean?
So it's difficult to extrapolate from one study that looked at one type of parasite and one type of host. I think the major message in my research is that people need to start looking at the effect of parasites in case they make incorrect judgments on the reaction of marine organisms. If I'd included both infected and uninfected snails in my analysis, I wouldn't have detected this reduction in survival.
So have any other sea creatures been studied in this respect?
Many, many sea creatures have been studied in terms of ocean acidification, but so far, there's very few researchers that have actually looked at the combination of parasitic infection and ocean acidification.
Tell us a little bit more about the acidic nature of the ocean and why it's becoming more so.
Essentially, the carbon dioxide that we produce through fossil fuel combustion is in a large part, or about 30% of the CO2 released in the last 200 years has been absorbed by the ocean. So actually, if the ocean wasn't there, we'd be a lot warmer right now. But carbon dioxide just dissolves into the seawater, goes through a number of chemical reactions and releases hydrogen ions, which essentially is how we measure pH, so the pH goes down.
How quickly is it happening?
On a day-to-day scale for us, not very quickly, but in, say, the scale of the last 400,000 years, the rate at which ocean pH is changing now is unprecedented.
Is it likely to be cyclical?
No, it's pretty much a one-way system. If we start to curb carbon dioxide emissions, then maybe in time the pH of the ocean will go back to pre-industrial levels, but at the moment it looks like this will be a fairly permanent change.
Is this the end for your research on this one, or will it continue?
No, I'll be continuing to look at how parasitic infection and ocean acidification interact over the next little while. It's an area that I find extremely interesting.
Absolutely, and we look forward to the results. Dr. Colin McLeod from the University of Otago Zoology Department, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks very much.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, a toilet is planned for the world's steepest street, and a proposed bill provides fodder for the university's debating society.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
It's Junk-Free June.
I'm giving up the couch.
Go to junkfreejune.org.nz today and get started.
Hi, this time of year we like to keep our customers warm and comfortable, and we sell a lot of moleskins and we've got them all on special. Check out these, Tussock Creek, 2 weights and they're a great price. We also sell Lee stretch moleskins, 5 different colours, short and regular. Great buying, moleskins, Alex Campbell Menswear, 3 stores.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Fire and Steam is a unique family event coinciding with the Steampunk New Zealand Festival. Fire and Steam is being held Friday the 3rd of June from 6:30pm till 9pm. The festival is to celebrate fire, steam, sound, light and music. Harbour Street will come alive. An annual event not to be missed. Come one, come all to the Lana Castle Winter Ball. Traditional dancing, dining and fun to be had. Dress up in your Victorian costume and experience the glamour of yesteryear and witness the address of the haggis. Friday 22nd of July, get in fast as tickets are limited. Call 4761616 or go online to www.lanacastle.co.nz.
It has no arms, no legs, has a drill in its mouth up to 8 hours a day and still never complains. It's one of 72 mannequin torsos in our new $3.8 million dental simulation lab, the first and only facility of its kind in New Zealand. My name is Nikki Rose Coltolaro and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
We're a 25 Moray place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
It's Junk-Free June.
I'm giving up chocolate.
Go to junkfreejune.org.nz today and get started.
Welcome back. A Dunedin woman is returning home from this year's Oceania Championships in Fiji with a bronze medal for Olympic weightlifting. Amanda Gould finished third in the 69 kilogram weight class with a total lift of 168 kgs. That was made up of a 77 kg snatch and a 91 kg clean and jerk. The 29-year-old was beaten by two Fijian women in her weight class. Other New Zealand Olympic weightlifters secured a gold, a silver and 4 bronze medals at the tournament. A public toilet is going to be installed near Baldwin Street, catering to demand from visitors and tourists. The idea has been bandied about for a while, and now the Dunedin City Council has confirmed it will make sure something's in place before October. That's the start of the cruise ship season, which runs until April. Either the council will install a permanent public toilet by then, or it will put a temporary one in place until plans are finalised. Staff are investigating 2 site options. Baldwin Street is frequented by tourists as the world's steepest street. Residents and business owners often get visitors asking to use their amenities. Local tertiary students are delving into discussion about a life or death piece of legislation. The Otago University Debating Society is staging a public event around the proposed end-of-life choice bill set to be put before Parliament, and it's proving to be the Society's most popular topic yet.
Weighing up the pros and cons, members of the Otago University Debating Society are discussing a proposed new law around voluntary euthanasia. It's being supported by ACT MP David Seymour, who submitted it to the members' ballot last October.
And it proposes to decriminalise assisted suicide for some specified cases where people are facing essentially unpleasant end-of-life experiences. And so it would enable people in those situations to avoid that and choose what time they end their life.
The bill may be randomly selected for Parliament to vote on. Euthanasia is a highly controversial subject, attracting strong opposition and support. Locally, students are wondering whether the introduction of the draft law would be beneficial.
I think it comes down to a question about, as a society, what do we actually value and how should we allow people to make choices?
The group's holding a public debate on the topic at the university campus this evening. There will be a question and answer session afterwards with a panel of experts. They include Otago professors in bioethics and law, as well as representatives from an anti-euthanasia outfit and a science and citizenship charitable trust.
A lot of anti-euthanasia groups are concerned about the exploitation of vulnerable members of society, so all of those things will be discussed, and a good opportunity for especially young people to get introduced to that conversation.
Newman says the topic of voluntary euthanasia is the most popular yet of all that the Society's organised debates around. He's expecting about 200 people to attend. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. A public transport users group is generating discussion around a planned central city bus hub set to be built in Great King Street. Health workers are teaching preschoolers about the benefits of avoiding tobacco as part of a national push towards a smoke-free future. And 3 fashion graduates from Otago Polytechnic are preparing to show their latest collections at New Zealand Fashion Week. Well, it's time now to find out what's going to be in tomorrow's Otago Daily Times, and we're joined by Phil Somerville. Good evening.
Yes, hi. Well, up near the front of the paper, of course, a story like this, Housing New Zealand selling 30 houses in Mosgiel. Given housing's in the news, that'll be of some interest. In the political front, Dean McKenzie, our political editor, he's looking at the Greens and Labour, signed this understanding today.
Spit it out, Phil.
This understanding today, and so that's will make the next election especially interesting. The Indian cook who was driving a van at where someone was killed, we've got the sentencing notes for him, and it's the fresh pages tomorrow, and as winter is upon us, and it's perfectly placed with lots of soup recipes, green garden vegetable, chicken noodle, beef broth and lentil, lemon and garlic, so
very nice.
That'll be good to go on with.
Lovely, all in tomorrow's ODT. Thank you, Phil. It's time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
And here is today's city view. It's taken of a tombstone in the Northern Cemetery. Around the city at 3 o'clock today, a little bit chilly, 8 degrees for both the central city and the Taieri, 9 for the gardens. Well, to the situation, and an anticyclone is developing in the Tasman. Its main job this week is to ease the cold southerly airstream out of the way. Well, to the forecast for the main towns in the lower south for tomorrow, bit of an improvement, which is good to see. Southerlies with some cloud for Invercargill, Gore and Tiana, all on 8 degrees, but a fine day for Alexandra with a high of 9. And as a fine one for Queenstown, Wanaka and Twizel, all also on 9 degrees. Southerlies and some cloud for Oamaru with a high of 8. And Dunedin tonight, showers clearing with an overnight low of 1. Tomorrow, sunny periods and sou'westers. Frosts at night, we're going for a high of 8. And our first negative for the year, -2 degrees. And on Thursday, sunny and cool with light sou'westers, a high of 11, a low of -3. Ooh. And finally to the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information. High tide tomorrow afternoon is at 12:15. Low tide follows at 7:10. And fishing conditions look good tomorrow, but the best time is actually after dark at 8:45 p.m. In fact, it's a.m. It's 8:45 a.m. I was misled. I'll have a word with that young man. That is local news for Tuesday. Thank you. We will see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.